Hello traders and good Monday to you. In today's video we will be presenting analysis of the Swiss franc against the Japanese yen currency pair. Before we get started, would like to remind you that information in this video is for educational purpose only, should not be considered as the financial advice, and as usual click that subscribe button and the notification bell to stay tuned of all the updates and analysis that we do on a weekly basis. Let's get started with the Swiss franc Japanese yen. Not so long ago, we already had analyzed this currency pair, and it looked like it's gonna go down, although we invalidated this analysis because there was certain unclarity and contradiction between the Euro Japanese yen and Swiss franc Japanese yen. So now we are revisiting this pair, and from what it seems is that it is likely that the Swiss franc Japanese yen will continue going to the upside. So why is that? Well, first off, we had rejected this support area. As can be seen, this is the area where the price has been bouncing consistently since the end of the January. After we rejected this area at 116.30, price went up and broke above the previously made high. So this yet again could be the confirmation that the trend remains bullish. So the probability clearly is in favor of the bulls, and this tendency can be expected to continue. So what we have in the recent price action? Well, there was the rejection of 200 simple moving average. Along with that, we had the rejection of this uptrend trend line, as you can see there. Then price went up, produced a new higher high, and corrected down. So right now we had another trend line, and price is bouncing off this trend line as we speak. So this certainly seems like a point of interest for buyers, simply because this is a supply demand area. You can see what happened in the past. There was so many rejections of this area. Mostly it was acting as the resistance up until the point where price broke to the upside, and then we had this rejection, very clean rejection, went up, and then yet again the rejection. Besides, we have two Fibonacci retracement indicators on this chart. One is applied to this overall correction down, and another applied to this last move to the upside, consisted of two waves. Based on this first Fibs, we have two levels, 61.8 at 117.15 and 50% at 116.95. The 61.8 corresponds to the 50% Fibs based on this move, and this area got rejected cleanly. This level, exactly the level of the Fibs, which is 117.15. So there was already this rejection, price went up, and now there was an attempt to break below, although on the 4-hour chart price failed to do so. There were two spikes, yet no closing price below. This means that bulls are defending this area, and the tendency clearly remains bullish. There could be further move to the downside, of course. We can even retest the moving average once again before and if the trend will continue. In this case, we might be reaching the level at 116.95, where another two Fibs allocated, 61.8 and 50%, and we might be even spiking lower to test the moving average. But as long as price remains above this area at 116.60, where the moving average got rejected, especially the 4-hour end or daily closing price remains above, then it will continue rising, or at least it will start to consolidate. In regards to the upside resistance or the target for this upside move, we might be paying attention to the 161.8 retracement level based on the Fibs applied to this correction. And here we have the level at 118.75. which means that there is another 150 pips growth potential for this uptrend. Maybe it cannot be expected to move immediately, but all in all the trend remains bullish, and at some point, probably this week, there will be or should be this continuation to the upside, but of course only as long as we hold this support area. So we are done with the Swiss franc Japanese yen, and let's go through the previously made analysis starting Euro Swiss franc. what we expect is the move to the upside, that it will continue towards this resistance. As we have the Swiss franc Japanese yen potential uptrend, this means that the Swiss franc could be feeling strong. In this case, we are likely to see a wave down on the euro versus the Swiss franc. So I will have to invalidate this analysis, as they were published at the same price as the euro Swiss franc is trading right now. So there is no harm in doing that. We will invalidate that and expecting actually the potentially strong Swiss franc. Moving on to the dollar Swiss franc. This is the bearish trend. And now, as we had the confirmation that the Swiss franc could be strong, this could be also resulting in the continuation of the downtrend. We might be having now an A, B, and C correction. And at some point it might be ending, especially near 0.9 psychological area. And the price is not that far away, 50 pips away from this area, which could be already a resistance. Very important to see what will be happening to the daily close, whether it will manage to close above this resistance at 89.52 or not. But overall trend remained bearish, and we expect that it will continue. Pound Swiss franc, right there we are struggling to break above the resistance. So we have reached the first target and we're rejecting it. We will continue on following it, but there is a huge risk that there will be a downside move. There is a very high probability of that unless we have a clean break above this resistance at 122.60 area. Especially we need to have a daily close above. But right now the risk of the downside move is very, very high. Pound New Zealand dollar. We can see that it takes a lot of times for the price to rise, so consolidation is still ongoing. Right now the price is much higher comparing to when we published this analysis, so we will have to invalidate this as well, because the price is not moving for quite a lot of time, and it means that the consolidation is ongoing. And we must also note that there is this resistance area that hasn't been penetrated. We can rise it slightly higher, so this is the resistance area clearly, and it might be actually pushing price down. And we also had a break below the both moving averages, quite a bearish sign, to be honest with you. So there is also a risk of the downside move. So we will finish on following on the pound New Zealand dollar. On the pound against the dollar, it's also a high risk opportunity for buyers from what it seems. Although considering that the dollar itself very weak, there is still this potential for the move to the upside. We will continue on following on the pound dollar, which still is interesting, although it is a risky opportunity since the price is right at the top and buyers might not be interested in that price because it's just too high and too risky to get in. Nonetheless, we will keep it on just to follow. Australian dollar against the United States dollar, it still seems very interesting opportunity, and we are yet to move slightly lower, potentially towards 175.80 area, and then it's likely that the trend will continue. And this is because of the dollar weakness, which is expected to continue. And what we have is the dollar Swiss franc expected to continue down, pound dollar up, and Australian dollar up. This means that the dollar still struggling. Maybe we will see the beginning of the continuation of this struggle. And the final pair we have is the euro against the GBP. This is the analysis we did last Friday. And as you can see, we had a pretty nice move to the downside, very steady decline. Price has reached the support at 127.2. So excellent opportunity was presented there. Congratulations to those who had the similar view, who had taken this trade, and hopefully we will have more of them throughout this month. So guys, that's it on the Swiss franc Japanese yen. I would like to let you know that we will discontinue our video analysis by the end of this month. We apologize for this inconvenience. So thank you all for watching. We will see you soon next time with new interesting analysis. So stay tuned. Don't forget to click the like, subscribe to our channel, and let us know down in the comments below what you think on the Swiss franc Japanese yen. Take care, and we wish you a lot of profits.